Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another Galavants through Rashiva episode. Uh,
More shenaniganry, more trouble, more pain, more sorrow.
Indeed.
A very horny dragonborn.
Very much so.
More politics.
We now have a new overlay down in the bottom corner, so you can see everyone who is speaking, and you can see their respective characters, except for the red guy. That's the DM, so that's not a character.
I am in fact your omnipotent and overlord master. Hi, how's it
Yep.
going?
Indeed.
All hail.
Although Val is still wearing his prince clothes in his picture.
That is true.
See, Val is overlord in the court. I'm overlord everywhere else. It does bring up something interesting if Val does intend to bring up the same. Not saying what. As that would be spoiling the decision for Val to reveal or not.
Is it what we talked about last session?
Oh, indeed.
Okay.
You know, whatever that means.
Yeah, whatever that means.
Whatever it means, indeed. Aha, there's the Val we know.
You mean in pain and constantly questioning whether or not his choice of companions is a good idea?
Yes.
Constantly. That is
Some more, some
that-
more than others.
yeah, that is a thing. I just like to think he occasionally, whenever there's downtime and he's by himself, he just sits there and has like his hands folded in front of his face and is just like, why? I could just leave. It'd be fine.
Yeah. No hazard pay is worth this shit.
No hazard pay, pension, social security, anything is worth this amount of crap.
It's been quite the story.
Indeed.
It's been quite the story thus far. You all have had your stresses, your trials and tribulations, and just recently, Val and Gideon have each had their own. You've been resting at the castle for about 5 days now. And
Most of us have been resting.
Yeah, most of us have been rusting. There are people here who are not.
now that in mind, you all happen to find yourselves meeting together, just sort of by happenstance for breakfast, brunch, whichever. The time doesn't happen to really matter all that much. But there's the table, there is food, and you will happen to come across it. Although, notably, Gloria is not using her legs at all. They're just sort of dangling there as she is walking on a pair of crutches. and notably takes a whole 2 full minutes to seat herself, very slowly letting down.
Mm,
Are you okay?
I'm just fine.
a bit sore.
You could say that as she tilts the brim of her hat down to cover her face. Yes, Koga, indeed, Gideon would still need to eat, as per normal. Would still need to...
Alright.
Don't reveal it to anything yet, but the implication is now there. So, what's everyone doing? What are y'all doing?
Mara is vacuuming everything she can get her hands on, as usual.
It's like, Mara,
The
please
Hoover of
take
the
your
party,
time
as it
while
were.
eating.
But it's,
I don't want to have to...
but it's so good.
I know. However, you do want to pace yourself.
I do this all the
It's not
time.
going anywhere, Mara. In fact, if you want more, we can ask for more.
But I do this all the time and I'm fine.
Just waiting for the accidental, oh shit, wrong pipe.
Yeah. Roll a con save real quick.
Alright.
We'll just roll it for the comedy.
Alright.
Oh.
12 plus... My character sheet will load. 12 plus 5, that's 17.
Alright, you for a second there it feels like, ooh, something might go down the wrong end. Ooh. Oh, but it's fine, and it just happens to hit like a little hiccup, and then you're good. That is one
Barrick
Val
just
flex
get-
for the day already.
Barrick and Val probably just exchanging that look of... Mara's gonna end up choking at some point.
I actually would probably imagine Val is kind of somberly eating right now. He's very deep in thought about something. He's like, he acknowledges that everyone's at the table that he's at and everyone's eating, but it's half attention. It is simple acknowledgement.
How are you feeling, Val?
He takes his glass, takes a sip from it, leans back in his chair, not setting it down, and is like, I have a massive problem on my hands.
I mean, considering all that's been going on, it's like...
A couple days ago, I found out the entire council was murdered.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm just gonna rip that tar bandage off right now. Like,
That is very concerning.
yeah. I have guards stationed outside the door, and no one is to enter that room currently at this time. But as of right now, there is no council, no king or queen, and an exiled prince. I'm at a loss of what to do. And he just keeps sipping that wine, pretty much. As he's just, you can see, like, the gears are still turning in his head. He hasn't stopped thinking about this problem for probably a couple of days.
It's honestly, I would not be surprised. Yeah, although we still have to look into what exactly happened, like the entire details of what happened. However, I would not put it past the former head advisor.
It was either the former head advisor had casted some curse on them, but
or had some involvement with it.
Yeah, I mean, he's involved in some capacity. I don't care if his pinky toe just fucking stepped foot in it, but either him or Calvin did something. One of the two. I can guarantee that. But the problem is, this country can't run. This kingdom can't run without a council and without a head representative of the country. So a king or queen, or at this point a prince, would a sit-in prince right now. And I'm struggling with trying to figure out how to proceed forward with this problem.
that is definitely something big to consider. There's definitely several paths to go about it, in several different ways. Things could play out.
What about the
It
changeling?
crossed my mind on the fact that I could just proclaim myself as the rightful heir and current and now ruler of this country, but I believe there will be backlash to that. I don't think that'll go over smoothly, and
I mean,
without a council to
yeah.
override my exile because of the former head advisor,
And also
the only thing
considering
I can think of is having Thestalos come down and essentially be like he is the rightful heir, and having the head priestess and the head of the guard also acknowledge me, as well as maybe a few other possible nobles, higher nobles such as the dukes and the marquises and such.
Yeah, because it's like right now, it's just like, I know you just going out there and saying, "Oh, hey, I'm the rightful ruler." As you said, that's probably not going to go over well, especially considering, "Oh, hey, council was murdered."
Yeah,
That could
which
easily
I
be.
now have to handle delicately.
Yeah.
Um, I still need to go mention that to. Well, no, I have he had guards placed outside the room. I imagine the head of the guards already knows.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, it's because the situation very easily get twisted the wrong way.
yeah, I don't want people to think that I just
That you did it.
cooed the throne, pretty much.
Yeah.
Well, what about the changeling?
What about him?
I mean, isn't he technically in line?
He was not yet married in.
Yeah, no, the changeling never went through the full rite, so that wouldn't work unless they shapeshifted into someone who was. But then I'm asking them to play essentially a double life of them lying to a massive group of people.
Which may not be what they want.
Yeah, that's not a burden everyone's prepared for.
I mean, something you will likely need to consider is also the fact that it does seem like there has been some mention by several people that that you do have a sibling, like a half sister, I think.
Yeah, but I don't have any knowledge of if she is trained for the throne or not.
Or if she even knows she's
royalty.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be better than nothing, right?
Yeah, only one way to find out.
Yeah, only one way to find out. But
however, that would put them at risk.
It also, yes, if they're young, I don't want to put them at risk for Calvin or the former head advisor coming back and manipulating them without them knowing the circumstances of everything. I'd prefer it be somebody who's already familiar with the situation. If I could at least get a council together, at the bare minimum, I would be okay with that. A council can run the country for a long, long time without royalty being involved. But on that same note, it might mean that I might have to be here for a while. And I understand that's not something everyone here would necessarily be okay with. And I would very much understand it if you wished to continue on with everything that you guys need and want to get done.
No,
I can try to join up with you as soon as it's over, but that's the best I can promise.
Well, we got everything we got everything we wanted. We can stay here and help you. That's okay.
Yeah. Plus, there's still plenty of stuff left here to do.
What about the facility?
That can happen later.
Wasn't there... What was it? Isn't there a facility all over the place or something like that?
I don't think we ever got confirmation that there was a facility over here. I think we were on the
Well-
assumption there probably was.
Well, I think if I recall correctly, there are facilities out and about, but they don't know the exact locations. Likely aren't known just because of them being
The
powered
files
down.
were corrupted.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Well, even if we don't have to worry about facilities, we can always tackle one of those bandit camps. Lessen Salvin's hold on this place. I
Again,
still have the
that
map
might be
of where they
something I
are.
might not be able to participate with you.
Well, it's in the same. Well, it's still in this country, isn't it?
I think biggest thing right now is I can't speak for everyone else here, but I think we're probably all in a similar boat that it's like we want to be able to help, like, at least stabilize the situation.
yeah.
Right. Oh, there's still some stuff we could do in this task force to try and help. Remember the whole library thing? We can still investigate that.
That's true.
We probably should investigate it actually. If it's the head advisor's little white hideout, there's probably a lot of stuff there that we should try to seek out.
I very much agree. In which I definitely will be doing investigations into that as well.
If I remember correctly, we just need to ask the head librarian what he knows about the rumors. Or we could just ask around.
True. I think someone, yeah, the head advisor probably had someone that followed him around, a secretary or something, I would imagine.
Likely.
Possibly. We don't know. But yeah. As of right now, my top priority is to get my country back into organization and get things situated here so that the country can continue to run. Because as of right now, all politics are at a standstill.
Yeah, and I think it's something that either you or like somebody as a representative of you go about to like some of the major families of the country and be like, hey, we and delicately explain the situation with what happened with the council and be like, hey, with everything that's gone down, we'd like to have like a member or two from like each of the families to come in and like reform a council.
Mm-hmm. I might not just do the families. I think that's an old policy that's just always been in place.
Have like
Have some of the higher noble families just because otherwise they'll bitch a fit. And they do have knowledge in their respective fields as well.
yeah,
But I think
also
I would also like to get people from different districts to be representatives as well.
that would be a good idea. That way you get there'd be pulses of like the different
Mm-hmm.
all different
Someone from the
walks.
lower districts to represent the low end of the economy. Someone from the merchants districts and someone from the mid class districts as well.
We should probably pull someone from. Remember that tournament we were all in? Probably pull some people from those teams. Especially since apparently some were already voted in. The not elites. What were they called? The one with the elf and tiefling, I think.
I don't remember their names offhand.
I don't remember their names, period. Did we even get their names?
The Misfits was, I think. Oh, the Lovelies was the. Or no, are you talking about the Misfits or the Lovelies? Because I think the Lovelies were from the lower district and the Lovelies were the nobles. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm talking about
Lovelies were
the
nobles.
Misfits.
The Misfits, yeah.
Yeah, weren't the Misfits like chosen to represent them or represent their respective little area?
I'm not gonna lie, that whole thing is a bit of a blur to me. I don't honestly remember.
Well, either way, even if they, especially if they were picked, we should probably choose one, at least one of them.
I think we should at least go talk to them, not just choose them outright.
Yeah, that's fair.
Just throwing anybody into the council will cause just as much disarray as not having a council.
Right.
But yeah, that's gonna be my agenda as of right now, is just to get a council back together.
Sure.
And I'm gonna try and get my exile revoked.
All right, and I'll help.
I appreciate it, Mara.
I'm willing to help as well.
Fair.
What?
Oh, yeah, I'll help out too. Mhm.
I think one of the biggest things we will need to make sure of is that we also make sure we clear your name, Val, just to make sure.
The thing is, there's nothing really too clear as far as my knowledge goes. I was simply exiled because I was different, and everyone perceived my being as a curse. And
Maybe
among
not
other things.
not necessarily of the exile, because that's a whole nother beast in and of itself. But make sure we get it through to people that you're clear of the situation, that you had no involvement of everything that's happened with the council.
Okay,
and
I
your
see
parents.
what you mean now.
Yeah.
Yes, very much agreed. I think with the help of the guard and the head priestess, at the very least, I think that situation could be probably easily resolved for the most part. And once we explain it to the council and the council revokes my exile, I think I will be okay.
'Cause
Obviously it will depend on the council's vote of them wanting to remove my exile and reinstate my position.
Because I think the biggest thing at the very least would be, obviously, besides getting the council up and running, seeing about finding a way to bring your parents back to what they were,
Yeah. I think we're going to be waiting a while, I think, on that, probably. I don't imagine... I really don't want to call in another favor to Stalos. Not that I don't think he would do it for me if I did, but I think I'm already pushing it as is with the amount of favors and how quickly I've already successfully called them in. But let's tackle one thing at a time.
Yeah.
I want to get the council up and running again. So with that, I'm going to probably scour through some of the family lines and look to see what everyone's up to and try and get a diverse representation for the country and for the kingdom to get that started. As far as the lower districts go, we'll probably have to go and investigate them ourselves.
I can do
And then
that.
have to pick someone from those districts, as there won't be not necessarily not documentation, but not easily accessible documentation to try and figure somebody out. We'll probably have to go there and listen to what the people say and who they would ask to have represent them, which is how I would like to do it.
Yeah, because it could be that there's somebody that they respect enough to, be like, hey.
Not just respect, but trust.
Yeah, trust
that
enough
will
to
represent them accordingly.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm liking how you guys are handling this so far. This has been fascinating to listen to.
Oh my
This is
gosh.
some top-notch role play.
I appreciate it. Oh my gosh, that was so fun to do. uh,
If anybody would like, I'm willing to help out too. I know I kind of haven't been here for a while, but I hope I'm still part of the group.
of course, we wouldn't have gone to save you if we didn't think otherwise.
Yeah.
I don't know what exactly I could do, but I can still make you all different potions, and I can provide support.
I think that will definitely be needed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'll be needed a lot. Just having you say that means a lot to me.
Gloria nods excitedly, and notably winces as she has shifted in her seating position.
Oof. Our character just like everyone's just like oof.
Yeah.
Gideon, you should be nicer to your girlfriend.
And the
It's sorta
problem
like-
was he was too nice to her, Mara.
Okay, that's enough of that talk.
What, you don't appreciate that talk at the dinner table?
Yeah? Originally?
You prude.
But it's breakfast.
Well, it's like, don't get us wrong, Gideon. We love you. It's just we will rib you about that.
I'm going to tease the shit out of you about it.
Your wrestling made it hard to sleep.
I agree with Mara on that.
Yep.
I think that's the least you can do is just tolerate our teasing. We lost 5 days
Yeah.
of sleep on you.
So Gloria has pulled her hat down so that her entire head is now in the pointy tip section of it, and her face is just entirely covered.
And if we were to probably like actually see it, it would be like blushing red.
Oh yeah, beet red.
Now she looks even more like a demon.
At one point, looked about the same shade of pink as Mara, and then just skipped it.
A tomato would be jealous.
Now that's a lot of damage.
Emotional damage. I think with that said, Lana, I think that's what we're gonna proceed with doing is just more or less what we were just discussing.
Yeah. Okay. What do you guys want to tackle first?
Good question.
It's Lana, I apologize as a player for this. The best way would probably be to split up. Hey, I apologized in advance. You cannot be mad at me.
I just love it. Every time there's something like this, none of you ever go together. I'm just all like, well, I'm going to go over here, and you're going to go over there, and I'm going to go over here, and you're going to go over there.
We don't necessarily have to split up, but if we wanted to get this done faster, that would be a more viable way of doing it.
Yeah.
That being said, I can tackle the nobles easily enough as I'm familiar with them from my days of being the former crown prince.
Yeah.
Let's see. Hold on. I have to make a list because hold on. I gotta think of shit.
All right. So we were looking at nobles, working class, and lower class citizens to represent.
At the bare minimum, yeah. So nobility, working class,
Alright, I
merchant.
have to start a new section of my notes here for new council members. Here we go.
Lower class.
I imagine Mara would probably want to immediately go start talking to people.
Oh yeah.
I think the biggest thing would be, you know,
our biggest
But-
question right now is if we are going to split up or if we're going to go as a group. And so if we want to go as a group, we obviously can. If we want to split up, we can, but Lana might hate us.
Do we want to poke that bear?
And it's like, but at the same time, there's pros and cons to each, you know. Everyone kind of doing their own thing, you know, hey, you know, get more diverse information potentially. But at the same time, we don't have the backup of everyone else.
Mara
Going
won't have anyone
together.
supervising her.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah.
Do we want to leave negotiations of someone becoming counsel with Mara to just choose and pick at random?
She'd probably just end up
you know,
picking whoever
working-
she was best friends with.
Yeah. And then we're, you know, going as a group, sure, you know, with certain groups we might not get as much information necessarily, but it's like at the same time Mara's supervised. And also, you know, there's potentially, you know, other information and ways to talk to people could also open up depending on, you know, with, you know, certain people being, you know, there.
Mm-hmm. I feel a bit like an idiot that I'm just thinking of this.
What?
Well, first off, for the nobles, we could easily just send out a letter saying that council positions are open, and we could just send it to the notable families that were interested in hiring, essentially, for that process.
Yeah, that might make it a bit easier.
And then the other way we could do this at least for the working class merchants, we can do the same thing for the nobility of sending merchants a letter, because there should be a merchants guild here somewhere that we can just do a posting at and saying that we're looking for representatives for the council.
Yeah.
As far as the working class and the lower class goes, struggling to talk. We could just put flyers out.
Yeah.
Because at the bare minimum of being a council member, they should at least probably know how to read.
Yeah.
Because there's going to be documentation that they're going to have to read and sign off on.
Yeah.
I would suggest having a vote or something. See who's the most popular options.
Popular may not necessarily equate to somebody people trust with a position.
Right, but if we could always narrow it down from what people like the most. So we want their favor, don't we?
We want their favor, but I also need people who can actually run this country.
Yeah.
They're going to be the representatives of those people. Just because they're popular doesn't mean that they're going to be good at politics.
Right, but I think it'll be probably best if instead of asking random people off the street, we have a vote and narrow it down to see who people like the most. If they're popular, there's probably a reason for it.
I mean, we could also do it the other way around. We could find people who are good at it first, and then have people vote among the options.
That would honestly be a better option, Mara.
Yeah.
Because it already narrows it down, and it's not every single person selecting someone that they know, and we now have 30 candidates. We can narrow it down to 4 or 5.
Right, that's fair enough.
So,
I would also like to say that if we do decide to go with like talking directly to people, depending on how much of a class divide there is in the country, that they might not like certain people going and talking to them. So like, some working class and lower class might not
like the nobility, which
yeah, they've
though I'm not a noble anymore,
yeah.
most people are going to recognize me and know that I was the former crown prince. So
Yeah.
they might still associate that title with me, even though I've been exiled for years.
Yeah. Feels nice when I'm not role playing as Mara and I can actually exercise my brain muscles.
Hey, golly, look at me! I get to think like an intelligent person, and not just be the bimbo.
Oh, bloody hell, I'm coughing. Yeah, that's actually a really good point. So I can go down to those districts with you guys, but if it starts causing a problem, I'll probably just leave. I probably have a greater chance of convincing nobility to enter council. I imagine Val already has like probably a couple noble families already in mind of who he would ask.
I'd have to imagine.
That's probably I could. No, I don't think it will be that specific. Really, I was gonna suggest I could ask around temples and stuff, but I don't think we need to narrow it down that much.
I had considered having a representative from the religious factions, but I only know of a couple, and I think to have a representative to represent all of them, I think a lot of people are not going to like that or agree with it. 1 second.
Because then it comes to be like,
It'd probably be better.
why that one?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, yeah, the biggest thing, if we only choose one,
if we
kind of
choose
like
one religion,
religious-
then all the other religions are going to fight about it, and if we choose
Yeah.
someone who's neutral about it, they're going to feel that they're not equally represented. I think it's just unfortunately a lose-lose situation, and I've also not been a huge fan of having the church involved in politics beyond like the royalty for ceremonies and such. Not that I don't believe that they don't have a say in anything. It just tends to get very muddied once they are involved.
Yeah. And we have a lot of real world history to show that having the church involved with politics is a very bad idea.
Yep.
Hi, Rowan. How's it going? That worked great for you, didn't it? Hmm?
But yeah, no, I was actually pulling from like real world politics or in scenarios with that. So thank you for seeing that.
Indeed.
Oh.
Not like it's easy to miss the failings of the Holy Roman Empire.
Which was neither Holy Roman nor an empire.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, I lost my pen. I can't take notes.
Oh no.
Okay.
Oh, rip.
Wasn't my original pen. I just found another spare one that was buried on my desk.
What's for lazy tieflings?
That's a good idea, Myra. Use the Lazy Notes for Lazy Tieflings channel.
Absolutely.
I'm so used to just taking self notes, okay?
I'm used to not taking notes at all, so.
I mean, that's also extremely valid. I am terrible at taking notes. Oh, by the way, Lana, I plan on just more or less yeeting my notebook at you once it's finished and we're done with this campaign.
I would be delighted to make an attempt at reading through that. That I think would be fun.
Dragonborns have wings.
Oh my god, yes! For the first time I brought Lana over here when I went to go and pick him up for LARP, that was the first thing they asked of me, was like, I want to see the notebook that has it. Ability. Options. Working. Is there any other faction that I could possibly be forgetting?
Honestly, I don't think
yeah.
so.
There might be one you're missing from. Is there like any sort of like designated like musicians guild or something like that?
I mean,
That-
not here in the Elven City.
Yeah, not here in the Elven City. I also
That would be
imagine
fun.
Val would probably feel the same way about that as he feels about religion, which is, once it gets involved, it's a bit messy.
Yeah.
Okay, if we're good for that, then all we just need to find is someone to represent them. And have we decided if we're going to stick together, or if we're going to go separately?
I think it might be easier just to do it. Well, quote unquote easier. It might be a bit safer to just go as a group.
Mm.
Plus, it also allows at least one of us to keep it on Mara. Love you, Mara. Don't get me wrong. Love you.
Going as a
Thank you
group,
very much.
going as a group is probably the safer option, but at the same time, going apart could be the more fun option, potentially.
And that right there has completely stopped Val from considering separation.
And this is
What
why.
What kind of shenanigans is Mara already planning when we haven't even decided yet?
It's like, love you,
Hey,
Mara,
just
but
real
you
quick.
do need supervision at times.
I might end up hiccuping for a second here, so go ahead and keep on talking. Just giving you a heads up in case you suddenly hear me go boop.
Oh, okay.
All right.
So we'll just do things in role play, eating our meal together.
Yeah.
So, going down this list, which thankfully is a very short list, is I already have a couple of people I think I'm going to consider for the Nobility Council representatives. And then I mean, I figured as much. And then the way we can tackle the merchants is to just swing by the Merchants Guild and probably talk to someone there. And we could probably talk to like the Merchant Guild leader. He might even have someone to recommend, just offhand. As far as the working class and the lower class go, I think we're gonna have to more or less handle them the same way, which is what I was saying earlier with having is probably getting a short list together and then having them hold a poll, a voting contest more or less of whom they would like to have represent those two classes. I'm open to any suggestions at this point.
I'm just reading out of character, just reading the note, what Morrow put down.
Oh, you're just saying that?
But yeah, no, I think what you said does sound like at least a good place to start, and then I think another part of it is also just making sure, you know, we're keeping an ear out and taking notes of, you know, potential. And
Oh.
there Lana goes.
Yep, Lana booped. I don't know why they didn't just mute themselves. I
Right.
feel like that would have been easier.
Lana is no more. Finally, I can take the throne.
Koga, the new DM.
Okay, time for absolute carnage right now.
All right, throw fireballs everywhere.
The DM's gone. All rules are out the window. We are the gods.
Yeah. We take over Rashiva, all of it.
Oh shit.
Oh.
That didn't happen.
Yep,
Nothing happened.
Act natural.
Okay.
Oh, hey, Lana,
in
we didn't
theory,
see you there.
I
Hello.
should be back.
Hello. We didn't see you
Hello.
there. We weren't.
Yeah.
We weren't doing anything. We were just.
Yeah, we were good, being good players.
We-
And doing
No,
other
no, I
stuff.
understand it. You know, scheming while I'm not actually able to hear for once. No, it's okay,
No,
I get it.
no, not at all. Not at all. I was just playing cards.
Yeah.
Playing
we-
cards.
we-
Yeah.
Yeah, playing cards and rolling dice.
Yeah.
I see. I see. I see. I mean, I guess you can draw from the deck many, like, without me here if you want. I don't know if that's gonna, like, pan out as a good idea, though. Like, I mean, I guess you can if you really wanna. Oh, okay, but really, what happened was I had to restart my computer there for a second, so that was
Rip.
fun.
Oh.
We were mostly, besides us joking around of being absolute chaotic gremlins, chaos gremlins, we were mostly just rediscussing and reaffirming our plan of how we want to get representatives for each faction.
Yeah.
Which is for the working class and the lower class, we're going to, I guess we're going to have to do some footwork and go and actually see about, like, who in those districts essentially would make for good council members and would represent their respective faction appropriately, and then
Makes sense.
essentially having those areas hold a vote of being like, okay, whom do you want to have represent you on the council, essentially.
All right, interesting. Okay, then with that, where are you guys headed from here?
Probably be easiest to start with the nobility. So, do we want to start off easy or do we want to start hard?
Yeah, and just as one last clarification, did you guys agree to work together or separately?
No one has
Sounds like
given
it was
valid
a-
answer. Oh wait,
Work
no.
together.
Yeah, we're working together. There was an answer. Mara had already come up with shenanigans before we had even decided, and he was like, "Nope, that's off the table."
Yeah, because Barrick was just talking about, you know, hey, if we were to do separate, we need somebody on Mara's supervision.
I feel a little bad for Mara Sometimes.
I
She treated someone like the
do.
toddler of the party.
I do too. I feel bad. Val doesn't. Val doesn't. I Val's player feel bad.
It's just out of game. We feel very bad for Mara. It's just in game. The rest of the party has seen like through Mara's various interactions has just been like Mara cannot be left alone.
Mara is mentally 5 years old, yes.
And I also just assume that if it ever is a problem, Diamond will literally just be like, "Hey guys, you're taking it too far."
Yeah, no. Yeah, absolutely. It's all good on my end.
Alright, well, sweet. Then let us begin. You guys are. So, there are. I'll make it simple and say there are 7 total recognized actual noble houses. So, the sorts of people that have the kind of aristocratic standing that you would need to get some kind of favor with. One is House von Dahlen, which you may recognize.
Yeah, I know that.
Second is House Gareth. Now this is a noble house specifically of shipmakers, of navy sorts. They are good at trade, travel, that kind of thing. There is a mercantile guild. They are the only non-elven noble house here. They happened to earn this nobility through their connections. They are very specifically merchants. They know trades. They know what is coming in and going out that is and isn't of value. They are House Perry. So that's 3 so far. Do you guys have those all down?
What was the docking people called?
Gareth.
They are House Gareth.
Gareth.
Gerreth.
Alright. Alright.
So next you have House Novalis. They represent the extreme haughty. They understand the political, they understand the goings-ons of the other noble houses, they understand who is doing what behind closed doors. Kind of high house.
There's a name for this type of house. Of what they do. It's not necessarily
Sakura.
like espionage, but it's like close to. But it's like, oh, it's like all over board stuff.
And yes, Koga, what's up?
Wait, hold on. Let me make sure. Are you finished listing all of them, or should I keep going?
I
Yeah,
will
sure,
let
keep
you.
listening, my
I
bad.
will let you ask a question. Go right ahead.
Does Didion have like any sort of dirt on them, on any sort of house in particular, or would he even know? Does he remember he spent like I don't know, like many weeks under acting as a priest of Lyressa and the nobles, kings, or whatever?
Roll either intelligence or religion.
Alright. Either religion or intelligence.
Yeah, either or.
I
Your
played
choice.
my religion's pretty high. No, wait, why did I just... Oh yeah, I being done sunlight, wouldn't I be?
Oh my gosh, a nat 1.
Oof.
Yeah, I'd be in sunlight, wouldn't I?
You're in a building.
Yeah.
You ain't no
Uh,
sunlight unless you're hanging out a window.
I assumed we were heading out and you were explaining then. My bad.
No, I think we're still more or less discussing at the table to which noble
this-
house we're gonna go to first.
Yeah.
That's my bad. I just disadvantage on.
Also,
No,
would-
you're all good. It wasn't clarified.
Seem like there's windows and whatnot.
Right.
Hello?
Hello,
Lana.
Rip Lana.
Did Lana die?
I'm here. Yeah, did Koga actually roll? Because
Yep,
if so, and told me the roll, then it did not come through the microphone.
He got a natural 1.
Well,
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
rolled at
realize that was actually the
disadvantage,
roll
but
you stuck with. I thought you said you erroneously had the disadvantage on.
Well, he did.
Oh
But,
yeah, I did have disadvantage on.
But the nat 1 was
but
his
it
first
was
roll.
5 and 6, so.
Yeah.
I don't know the rules for. It wouldn't matter. It could have been 5 or 6 anyways.
Oh, okay, then. Actually, I'm gonna have you re-roll because if you had the incorrect setting on, I'll let you re-roll. That's how we've been
Alright.
doing it so far, so I'm gonna stick with that.
And I'll just do releasing again. Might as well. 20.
A nat 20. Holy
Nat 20.
shit.
Okay. Okay. Now, it definitely pays to ask about any parameters such as disadvantage or any other such thing before you roll. Just so you
Yeah,
know.
Yeah, my bad.
In which case, you remember that one of the houses, House Perry, has made particular use of a bargaining method, we'll say. I shall let you extrapolate from there.
Maybe so.
And if I have to spell that out, I hope I don't.
I mean, my brain's just running amok with that, so.
Yeah, because there's a lot of things it can be and a lot of things it can't be. Like, what sort of trap are they getting under that would try as a love priest? Or not try, but would be in the vicinity of what Gideon was doing.
I mean, sounds like an affair to me.
Yeah, because didn't want to specifically. Huh. I'm assuming it's unfair.
You fuck my wife, I fuck yours? Dying.
Alright, somebody was at least on the right track here.
Oh, shit!
I was actually a little concerned for you guys, because I was like, wait, please don't tell me I have to explain this.
Is it actually being a cuck?
Is some guy stopping another fucking, like, noble house from fucking his wife? Oh wait, what if it's a mistress? But the mistress is some other noble's wife. That'd be some dirt. That'd be a lot of dirt.
Yeah, I think that would be reason enough to avoid that household.
Yeah, what was House Perry known for though? They're a merchant
Mercantile.
house.
So they're the
Okay.
ones with the most connections to anywhere.
Is there a merchant's guild here though?
No.
No. The merchant's guild is House Perry.
Functionally.
Yeah.
They would be the closest equivalent.
The next one being Gareth.
Indeed.
Let's hear the rest of the noble houses though, because I think that's only 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay,
That's
you
only
have
4 of
heard
the
thus
7.
far of House Fondalen, House Gareth, and House Perry, correct?
And Novalis.
Novalis,
Indeed.
yeah.
There is House Umindus. They tend to be astrologers of a sort. They study sciences, alchemies, and tend to have connections with other guilds from other areas. They tend to trade in strange materials, rocks which have fallen from the heavens, curious fey artifacts, other such things which to any normal folk and even to other aristocratic folk would be uninteresting. The reason that they hold this position of aristocracy is due to their usefulness in predicting strange events in the world, and have thus proven themselves accurate in this.
Borderline on profits there.
Accurate. But it is not said that they, were 100%.
I just said borderline. I didn't accuse them of anything.
Just wanting to dull those expectations a little. Now, after them is House Formus. They're artisans, through and through. That's pretty self-explanatory.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, what's the name of the kingdom or whatever?
Need some more house. I have that note here somewhere. Give me a moment.
So on and so forth. Ah yes, the sounds of sheaving through papers.
I have a whole notebook dedicated for this campaign, Lana.
Well, that's rather flattering.
Shit. Did I not write it down here? Did I do that? Did I do it digitally? I know I've seen it somewhere. Oh, wait, no. Oh wait, no, this is it. I'm pretty sure this is it. Lana can correct me if it's not.
Eladrin. Okay. Yeah, that sounds familiar. Yeah. And that was all the houses, Lana?
Indeed.
Alright.
Mean Girls.
That's only 6 houses. Did I miss a house?
I mean that here. Let me also be my list here.
Noramus.
Indeed, they're the city planner group, the ones that do the artistic designs of the entire city itself, plan where buildings go.
Alright.
Yeah, they're the ones that I just mentioned.
Did you?
No, that was Formus.
Yeah, Formus was the last one.
I compared them to Formus, but they are not Formus in and of themselves.
Then who was the alchemy family?
That would be House. Let's see, Umindus. They do alchemy. They do astrology. They do fortune telling.
Part of the reason that I called Novalis Mean Girls is I was, during that whole introduction, I was straight imagining that scene from Mean Girls where it's like, okay, over at that table is House Van Dalen, at that table is Gareth, they work on ships, yeah.
Oh, it's House Normus for some reason that I don't have.
Oh, well, there you go.
So we got 7 noble houses of which to speak to. And we have one that we are already on good standing with, so that'll be easy at least.
Yep. That being said, now I have to get my head all together again. What was the Foundland family known for?
The Fandalen, that is
Fandalen. Fandalen.
family, is known for magical connections, is also most known for being the founder of what exists as the first and the only Adventurers Guild, the very thing that started y'all on this mission to begin with.
Right.
Yep.
And also for being one of the world's heroes. The current head of the house, Alphonse von Dalen, is quite literally responsible for having rescued the world before.
No
Along
pressure.
with various others of his friends, including most of whom are pivotal members of this Adventurers Guild.
Aren't they all basically just mortal gods?
Is that not what a level 20 character is?
Fair enough.
Sometimes they can be a god. Just outright a god.
Yeah.
Okay. Honestly, we could probably make the whole council right here, but it would be all of the noble houses, and I feel like that just wouldn't be fair to the lower class and working class if we just did that.
Yeah.
So I still want to get them representatives as well, but we can take the nobility and merchants definitely from this list somewhere.
Well, I do need to tell you something about the Perry house.
What's that?
In private, I think is probably best.
We're in private. It doesn't get more
Right,
private
that's
than this.
fair.
It's just us at the table.
That's fair. That's fair. Okay, okay. I'm not gonna lie, Lana. You kind of do need to spell it out because I don't want to be wrong when I say it.
If you have an idea in your head how you're understanding it, you gotta tell it here, because I mean I've already given you some pretty clear indications. At this point, you gotta go with what you know.
All I know that they have a specific bargaining method, and Didion was involved.
I won't say
Uh,
involved. You know of.
Well, know of.
I,
I'm kind of stupid, so.
it's okay. It's okay. Now you guys are welcome to help fill in that gap if you want.
I'll be perfectly honest, I know as much as Koga does.
I can only draw assumptions from what I've already heard.
Yeah.
From what hints Lana has already more or less told us.
I can make random guesses, you know, there's an affair going on. There's, you know, fucking someone's getting cucked.
I love the idea of this medieval fantasy setting and someone just says someone's getting cucked. It makes me laugh too much. Anyways, going on. I'll be fine.
I'm pretty certain most of their connections stem from affairs. House Perry, I mean.
Would Val be surprised at this knowledge?
Yes.
Okay. Oh.
I got more than enough information from my time helping people out.
Is it affairs with specific houses, or is it affairs with all houses?
What did he know?
Not those sorts of details.
They didn't just sort of shakes his head, but
Do you know what the
it might
affair...
be.
Sorry, go on.
Because of that, I sort of suggest not bringing them in, if only because that might be a powder keg waiting to explode.
Koga no barrel.
Anyways. No, I agree. But I also want to know what kind of pull they're going to have on any council members that would potentially be in seat of power. We don't want House Perry to use this bargaining chip, and he does air quotes around that, to influence the future council member into just... Basically, the idea is they're going to shadow puppet a council member because they're using an affair or this bargaining chip against them. Because that's counterproductive.
Right, and
in that case, it would be no different than me just putting House Perry on the council rather than whoever else I choose.
Well, that would be even worse. If Perry House is already there, they'll likely have even more control because it'll be them plus whoever they have under their thumb.
Exactly.
Instead of thus who they have under their thumb. So I'm guessing we need to investigate, see exactly what they're doing.
We should at least understand which houses are affected specifically by them.
Does that mean I need to go back undercover? Or not under, but, you know.
I'm gonna say I'm pretty sure your cover's already blown, so...
Well, that's fair, but... I could ask one of our... No, I don't think I should ask any of the temple goers about it. It's pretty private.
But you're a paladin.
Yeah, but... That's fair, but that sort of information is...
Hundreds, if not thousands of lives are at stake of who we put on this council. We need to know that we're making the right decision.
That's right. I'll see what the temple... I'll see what they know then.
I appreciate it.
So it needs to stop by the temple then.
Yeah, we'll have to swing by the temple first before we go to any house. Actually, we could probably just head over there unless you have any other information on another house that would be useful before we go.
No, I don't. Didn't the sort of six his head. I'm sorry.
Okay. No, it's fine. I'm only asking because I want to be as armed as possible for this decision. An entire country and kingdom rests on us making a good decision. Not to put pressure on it, but
But there is potentially serious, like, very serious consequences that could be had.
yeah, there can be very serious repercussions for not making a well-informed decision, we'll say.
Well, we know the Fandalans are good people. We could go talk to them and we could trust them.
That's true. The Fandalans might even have, if they don't necessarily want the seat of council, they might have another family that they would recommend. And we could essentially treat that as a vote for that family.
That is true.
Alright.
And the Fondalan would hold a great weight on that family. The family that gets nominated by them might feel pressured to do a good job. Would it? See, I don't want to do that again, but that might be a decent idea.
What?
What if we appoint the Fondalan family as I'm going to use this term because I can't currently think of a better one, but as a head advisor over the council. Not necessarily as they are a part of the council, but they are a part of the council as a sense of keeping peace among all parties. They would be treated as a neutral party.
Kind of like a regent for like a royal family in the case of, hey, so we have, obviously, rulers passed on unexpectedly, and the next in line is too young.
Something kind
Similar.
of like that, but it would be more along the line. Their main purpose would be the fact that they are just to win a fight amongst the council members that they can't agree on anything. This family or this person representative would be to be like, okay, everyone needs to stop, and since I'm the one saying it, you either stop or you have repercussions from me. It holds power, but not a lot. They would essentially be able to hold conversations or discussions and to try and mitigate peace among all representatives when things get out of hand. I don't know if that makes sense, if I'm doing poor wording on that.
There's something important we should do too before we appoint anyone. If I was able to get so much dirt on one house just by spending some time around them, we should probably investigate the other houses too. Make sure we're not going to appoint anything that's super bad.
Well, that's more or less what we are going to go do with us going over to the temple to figure out what House Perry has. We're going to go listen to what House Fandalin has, whether they want a council seat or not. If they don't want it, they might. We could always ask them for if their opinion of another house representation as well.
No, I meant like, just because they're connected to Perry doesn't mean, just because a house is or isn't connected to House Perry doesn't mean they could be doing something shady in a different way.
Oh, I'm fully aware of that, but here's my problem with that. Don't forget, I grew up with these people. I grew up in this society. Every noble house has dirt. And it's just picking the cleanest dirt that you can get.
And see what
Mm,
potential dirt is worth having on hand.
Yeah, not wrong, not right necessarily either. Basically, another way of putting this, that I've heard is they're all piles of shit. You're just picking the shiniest ball of shit.
Excellently said.
We can all thank
Alright,
Chuck
so-
Wizard to my left for that one.
Thanks, Chuck.
But yeah, every noble family has dirt. Every noble family has filth and skeletons in their closets and things under their rugs and in their basements that they don't want out in the open. We have to just do the best informed decision. We're basically picking someone that is going to have the best meaning intentions when put in this position and won't be corrupted by it. They need to be able to represent their respective faction appropriately, regardless of their family issues. The only reason we're investigating House Perry specifically is because of the fact that if they are using manipulation tactics to control a house, we either need to disregard that house or we need to fix the problem if it is someone that we want on the council. Does that make sense?
Yep.
We're not gonna get a saint for every council seat. Bloody hell.
In a whole pile of dirty laundry, you want to pick the cleanest pair.
Thank you,
Yep.
whoever said that.
That was me over here. That was me. Hi, Lana, Dungeon Master, your overlord. How's it going?
did not pick that up. Got it. That was Val asking the air of wherever that voice came from. The wind has spoken. The wind has an opinion on this matter.
There you go.
But yeah, that's all I'm gonna say on that as far as that goes, because I can say it 1,000 different ways. We just need to pick someone who's gonna have the best intentions on the council, who can't or won't be manipulated necessarily.
Alright,
Not everything's black and white.
so we head out now?
Yeah, we can. I think we can head out armed with this much. So we'll head over to the temple first and figure out what dirt Perry has on whom.
Alright, then that is what you guys are doing?
Yep.
So wait a second. What does that make the rest of your party, Mara?
I mean, we don't treat Mara like dog, do we?
Yeah. They treat her like a child. That's completely different.
Yeah,
Okay, fair.
that's the morally correct choice.
I was questioning things that Val was doing. It was like, I know Val isn't like great, but he's not that bad, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
treating
no,
her
fair
like-
enough though, fair enough. So you guys are heading to the home of House Perry specifically, right?
Nope, we're heading to the church to figure out what dirt Perry has on which houses.
Okay.
Get,
Okay.
more specifically, Gideon's.
Yeah, Gideon is gonna go and obtain the dirt from the temple of Lyresha.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. You all walk up. It's a beautiful temple. It looks very welcoming and warm and inviting. You all are welcomed with open arms, especially Gideon, who seems to have earned quite a good reputation there. I mean, he seems to be, you know, everybody's like patting him on the back and congratulating him, and
Did you get a promotion that I don't know about?
Is this about the wrestling you did?
I think that's I think
there's
that's
a
more.
raucous roar of snickering throughout all of the congregation around.
Just to get into red in the face, sort of hide it in his hands.
Safe bet. That's probably it.
Yeah. I guess it's kind of like a promotion, I guess. I don't know. I'm not familiar with this temple.
I mean, considering it's probably very likely that Rashiva was probably just waiting for the day he'd finally do it with Gloria.
And she got 5 days straight. So I think she got a win-win scenario out of that.
Oh, jeez. Hello.
We're going to kill Gideon a second time.
So, are you just sort of saying hello to whoever's in front of you?
Yeah, he is definitely looking for the head priest, though. He is greeting people as they approach.
Okay, so you greet the head priest, who smiles and just walks right up, gives you a big old bear hug.
Gideon hugs back.
Congratulations, congratulations. Oh, my dear brother Gideon, it is welcome that you have made such a monumentous move in your life. Well, he sort of leans in and says, to be honest, I may have heard a little bit of a rumor from the guards at the castle, but still, congratulations.
Okay. Thank you.
It was told only to us, but no one else knows. We asked for at least this much privacy for you.
Thank you for at least that much privacy. So I don't expect you to say that private for long. Glare back at the group.
Hi.
Hi.
By the way, if Val overheard the priest tell that to Gideon, he snickered out loud.
Oh, it's like I'll keep quiet about it.
We do need to talk to you. It's pretty important.
Oh, of course, of course.
You don't mind taking us somewhere private?
Oh, certainly. We may actually go to my private room here. Please, everyone, follow me. And beckons to all of you standing with Gideon.
Yeah, Val will walk with him.
So will Mara.
Dwarfy boy, you going with?
Yep, going with.
Alright. You are led through to easily the most modest room. There is a table. It's just raw wood. 4 chairs. Plain comfortable. Plain bed. Plain writing desk. Spartan as a room has ever been. But he looks fondly at this room and takes a seat at the chairs. Some of you may need to use the bed as a seat. I unfortunately don't tend to entertain in this room.
No, that's fully understandable. We are currently in. You could say we are intrusive on this by even asking it of you.
I see. This must be an important matter then. Whatever can I help with?
Everything we are about to tell you is completely confidential, and only a small number of people currently know about this at this point in time. Most of which are in this room as speaking. The council is dead and needs to be replaced.
You caught him just as he was taking a sip of water, and you see that go spraying across the room as he. I'm sorry.
That's exactly how I pictured it too. Ugh,
Like,
okay.
Nanu? The fuck did I just do?
Sorry, hey, Lana, can you redo that? I got laughed out of it.
All right. Okay, so you have just revealed to him
Yep.
that the council has died.
Yep.
He was taking a sip of some water and just full on, you saw his eyes go bulging wide. You saw him spit the water out, catch his throat, cough, and then ask, I'm sorry, what?
The council has been killed, and I assume it has something to do with the former head advisor and his cohort, a demon named Calvin.
You see this head priest get up and immediately close the curtains. He goes over to a wall and taps a silvered plate that is there, which immediately begins glowing, and the room feels quite quiet now. And it feels like it is private. It just
Silencing
literally
spell.
gives you that emotional sense of privacy.
Should get one for Gideon.
Huh? Then they didn't still know where Calvin is. We still like know what he's doing.
You do, but it kind of looks like you're seeing it now through a piece of paper. So you're aware that normally this should not be possible.
Alright, Gideon would definitely be checking up to make sure Calvin isn't doing anything shady while they're talking. Like anything that might give away, oh, he's listening in.
You can tell that he is actually asleep.
Oh, alright. See,
That
that's
fucking
draws
sleeps.
the connection.
But yes, as I said, the council has been is dead, and this country cannot not have a council at the bare minimum. I have no one to overturn my exile, so as of right now, I can make no decisions that wouldn't seem like I just cooed the throne.
I see.
What we are currently doing, which is why we are here, is that we are currently going to look for new council representatives which will be informed of this situation and will be able to take those seats to begin the politics and the removing of everything in this kingdom again. And Paladin Gideon here, and he gestures to Gideon, had heard something when we were doing some investigation work, and had heard something about House Perry might have dirt on other houses, and we want to know what houses are involved in this dirt that they supposedly have.
I'm sorry I did not tell you the truth of why I was there. but I did
He
want you
stops
to be
Gideon. Any fault that Gideon has in that scenario, befall it to me. I was the one who asked him to do it.
I see. I, very well. This is a great deal to take in, and this this will prove a trial, indeed. Gideon, my brother, I thank you for bringing yourself and your companions here. This is a grave matter. What then can I do? It may be best if I know less. So instead, tell me, what can I do to help?
We
Either-
need to know what the House Perry is doing with other houses. We know they're having affairs, but we need to know with who.
The idea is that we want to have an option that if we find an ideal council member with another family, but they are influenced by House Perry due to this influence they are having over them, we either want to be able to rectify it so that that member is no longer under that influence and could take the position freely without the influence of Perry behind it. I'm trying to create a new council that will be fair to all of the factions. We're looking for someone for the nobility house, the merchant house, the working class, and the lower class.
You ask a great deal.
I understand that, but it would mean the lives of so many.
You are right in this. It would mean the livelihood and lives of many would be impacted, well and otherwise. I just on which noble house do you ask information again? Would you?
Anything that House Perry has probably told you in confidence. I understand that is an incredibly selfish and very almost deplorable thing to ask of you, as I know the sanctum of something told to you in confidence is supposed to remain there with you and your god. But again, I have to look at the lives of this entire country when making this decision, and I need to know exactly what I'm dealing with.
I see. Just one moment.
Of course.
He stands from this table and he walks over to a wall. He obscures it with his person, and it sounds like he's tapping at something on the wall. When he comes back, he has a handful of papers, and he sets them down. These are records of things which I have kept, as I felt they were things which may need to be remembered, may need to be held on to. This is all of the information that I have to give.
This is more than enough and more than I could have ever asked for. And I thank you very much for doing this. And Val will start looking through the papers.
They detail frankly things that you do not necessarily want to hear. It is uncomfortable to read. It's detailing extortion, it's detailing blackmail through, indeed, sexual favors performed, trades performed based on trade of people, even connections made through threats, through other sorts of means, the likes of which most civilized peoples would not normally engage in.
What families are involved in on the receiving end, I guess, of this?
It doesn't list any specifically, but from the depth you can garner, it extends to those here in Elven lands and even likely to others.
Hands in a lot of pockets. Unfortunately, this doesn't really help. It helps, just in a different aspect. So we don't know any families here of the 7, at least, besides, well, I guess of the 6, because Perry is the one involved. So we don't know of any of the other 6 houses that are being directly affected by House Perry. We can draw assumptions from this based on what is said here, and if I had to take a wild stab in the dark, Gareth and he'll start pointing out things such as more or less the mention of human trafficking that you mentioned, and a few other things, the extortion. House Gareth is probably one of the victims if we had to take an absolute stab in the dark. Maybe
Wallace?
Lana, you said that some of the things were like trading, right? Right.
Correct.
Non-person trading. Any specifics that might make it more obvious what houses they're trading from and to?
Well, as indicated, it does not state any specifics. It more makes implications that the breadth of this trading extends to what can be assumed every Elven High House and others outside of the Elven lands.
Alright.
The other house that I was thinking that may be affected is the, correct me if I pronounce this wrong, Lana, the Umdez? The fortune teller house. House of Alcove.
Mendus.
Mendez.
Yes.
Okay.
Umindus or Umindus. Either or, really.
Since they also deal with exporting or importing, not exporting, importing the various ingredients used in their research. And then Gareth, because they're a shipping and trading company. I'm sure all of the houses are affected in some capacity, but I'm gonna guess that those 2 are probably hit the hardest.
We need to take care of Perry in some way. Forget not letting them on the council. We need to do something about them specifically.
Unfortunately, without a council or a king or a queen, there's nothing we can do.
That's the problem. We can't. The council won't do anything if Perry has hands in all of them.
The best thing we
If
can
anything,
do
that's more
is sever
protection.
a house's ties with Perry. If we can sever a house's ties with Perry, we can probably take that house onto the council at least. If they don't have to worry
Right,
about
but
Perry, then they can vote on making a decision against Perry to remove their noble status. They'll lose everything.
right, but I'm saying you should probably or have someone take care of, be king, do something with Perry, then have the council form. This seems a lot more complicated to sever all the ties, make the council, then whatnot.
No one is
Instead of
there's no one to authorize a current heir to the throne. Even if I found a sibling to take the throne, there's no one to validate their existence because the only two people who could validate it are in a state pretty much akin to death.
right, so how do
There's
we
no
go
one
about
to
severing
validate
ties?
if they even have an item. Say we found the sibling who has an item saying that they're part of the royal line. There's no one to validate it.
And like, sure, like Val could potentially validate, but then
I'm still an
again,
exiled crown,
yeah,
the former crowned prince. My word means nothing. I might as well be part of the lower class. No offense to the lower class, but
or
my word carries no weight.
or if anything, your word for at least for some people would mean, oh nope, cannot have this person ruling.
Dude, how are we supposed to form the council to begin with? Just ask nicely, hey, you should replace them.
Val is just kind of pacing around the room. He's trying to figure out a way to answer Gideon on this.
Because, okay, it's either your word has no meaning and you're king, or your word has no meaning and you're telling people to form a council.
Killing people? We're not killing anybody.
No, I didn't say that.
I think he said telling.
Did I say that?
It sounded
Yeah,
like
said
it. It
telling.
sounded like it to me. It might have just been the way it came through.
Yeah, I said telling. You're either telling people to form a council and your words have no meaning, or you're king and your words have no meaning.
If I'm king and my words have no meaning, that's an entirely different issue. I have to go through a much longer and harder road if I do that. Because if I'm going that route, that means it would mean that I'm telling the people of this country that I have killed the king and queen, have killed the council, and I have cooed the throne, and now I am ruling as a tyrant.
Right, but
A council, if I can get a council together and I can have them officially overturn my exile, my position as crown prince will be restored. I will have the same power. Actually, I'll gain more power because of the fact that once I'm reinstated as a crown prince, I'll be immediately instated as king because currently there is no active king or queen.
alright, okay, how do we sever the ties?
We have to find out what dirt House Perry has on which house. And unfortunately, the easiest way to do that would be to get friendly with the other 6 houses and figure out what House Perry has on them and what we can do to help.
Alright, so this will be here for a while. Not that we mind.
I warned you of this at the table earlier. This is an extremely long and grueling process. I would not be surprised if I am here for months, if not a year, at the bare minimum.
Okay, I do have a suggestion of what house we should probably start with.
What house is that?
Dareth. If they can't export anything, that's gonna mess them up greatly, right? Or at
Given that
least
they're a
that's
merchant
like
house, yeah, that would fuck them over pretty hard. If they can't
plus
export
if
and
there's
import a lot of things, then or make ships even, they would have to make do with what ships they own personally and that aren't under their company names.
yeah,
But
plus
that's gonna
that
be
would
hard.
sort of force them to cut down on what sort of like human trafficking they're doing. Because that would be a lot more risky to do it specifically on land, wouldn't it?
Well, they're gonna be limited on to how many more places they can go on land. On top of the fact that if
Right.
they have to spend more in resources to ship to another city to export it,
Or even
since they
other
can't use
continents.
or another well, they would have to have a ship for that.
Yeah.
If we can limit them
Right.
to doing only imports on the mainland here and strip them of their shipping rights, then they either have to pay extra enormous fees to ship to another city to export from there, but you're talking about taxes, tariffs, guards, more merchants, time, food for those that take those journeys. It'll bite them really hard financially.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. We should probably start with Dareth.
And I'm agreeing with you.
And,
Sorry if it didn't sound like that. I was
yeah,
agreeing
well,
with you.
no, yeah, but then we should probably while we're doing Dareth, we should probably get friendly with Fundelin, since
Yeah,
they're already on our side more or less. It'll be easy enough to try and convince them, wouldn't it?
possibly. Um,
It should be easy enough to if we since we have so much dirt on Perry to begin with, and if we tell
here,
Fundelin, who knows what happens.
hold on.
Yeah,
First and
that's fair.
foremost, we do not have the priest's permission to take these documents. We're not
Yeah,
even supposed to know about these documents. These are confidential documents. If we try to use these in trial right now, they could easily be thrown out.
that's fair. And they probably wouldn't take my word for it, member of the Adventurers Guild or not.
Adventurers Guild, and even the fact that you're a paladin of this order, your access to these kinds of things is still limited.
Right.
So, and if you found them in an unjust manner, again, that would be cause for justification of throwing out these documents. We could, during a trial, maybe argue a use of them, but that's going to have to wait until a later date when we get more concrete things to be used against Perry. This should just be added as fuel to the fire when that time comes.
Alright, so start with Dareth. We already have Fundelin on our side more or less. Then probably Novalis. The Novalis, it will be pretty important because they have dirt on everyone, right?
The novelists, yeah.
Because aren't they more
If-
like the back behind closed doors
Yeah,
stuff
they're
Yeah.
family?
you
We
could
should probably get them
say
rolled.
they're a bit of a sketchy family.
The
to put
Mean
it
Girls.
realistic. Yes, the Mean Girls.
Definitely try and get Novalis relatively early as well. Then.
It would be nice if we could have Navalis on our side, but I want to keep that tentative. I do not want to give them hope for the chance of possibly a council seat, though they are a
Mhm.
family that's also very familiar with politics.
We should. Okay, so
It's
more or less.
kind of choosing the better of two spitting vipers. Which viper do you want to deal with?
Well, if we have them on our side and they have dirt on everyone, that might put even more pressure on Perry.
I
So
don't know how
theoretically,
much.
they should have dirt.
Yes, theoretically they should have dirt on Perry, but Navalis, if they might just see. Navalis likes to keep dirty secrets for themselves, and only use those dirty secrets when they desire to. I don't know a ton about their family workings, but if I had to guess, if they really wanted to put Perry out of business, they would have already done it.
Or if
Well,
on the off chance that they have yet to do so, if there's a chance that we could potentially create such, opportunity for
oh,
them.
oh, then they should be the last person we should turn to because, okay, let's say theoretically the reason they haven't put them out of business is because they are of use to them. If we have every other house cut ties with Perry, they're now more or less worthless to them. It'll be easy enough to convince them to get something entirely, right?
Possibly. So long as Novalis and Perry don't have that friendly of a relationship, so long as it's strictly business.
Right, so that they should probably be the last people we turn to.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Probably.
then,
But there's also
then
there's always a possibility of the fact that Novalis might just have that as a, God's forbid, a side hobby of everything. Politics has always usually been their forefront on everything.
right, so then I'm thinking maybe the fortune teller people, the Yumdiz? Because by the sound of it, they would be the most likely to be supplying them with exports.
Well, they would be giving them a reason to do exports.
Right. Plus, if they're actually that accurate with fortune telling, we probably don't want them. We probably don't want Perry to have access to that.
But the thing is, House Gareth is also going to be reliant on them as well. So we don't want to sever necessarily their relationship, as I'm sure House Gareth uses them for fortune telling of
Obviously,
seas and weather and such.
well, obviously, they don't need to have ties to Perry to have ties with other houses. So that's why I'm saying
No.
we should probably do Dareth, then the fortune tellers. Or hell, the other way around works.
No, I think the first way you said is probably going to be best, getting Gareth on our side. We're probably dealing with a very tangled web right now of political chaos, pretty much.
Mara, Barrett, who do you think should be after those two?
I don't know.
I imagine Mara's just listening to this and is just like, I have no clue what's happening.
Yeah, very much in
Absolutely.
one ear, out the other.
What funny names.
Just, this is too complicated for my brain.
Meanwhile, little do they know, Mara could in fact be their best negotiator just because she's so simple about things.
And she has the highest charisma.
Okay, Barrett, you're the smart guy. What do you think?
As you said, Gareth and Umendez would likely be some of the first two we hit. But let's see.
Oh, I shared that in the wrong channel, my bad.
I know Fondon would be a good choice to get at some point. And hope, just because, there's a chance that, there's the, hopefully good chance that, they're already lean a bit favorably towards Val. All of these, well, obviously, probably should try and wait on, getting to Perry just because, you know, obvious reasons.
I agree that Perry just needs to be stopped right now.
Yeah.
But again, I don't think we can do much
Without
a
getting.
council to
Yeah.
do something against them. It would be
Yeah.
way too big. It would be a bigger job trying to get rid of them ourselves without a council than I would rather go and fight Calvin's horde of shit again with the Stalos than try and do that.
Okay, I think we know. I think I have a suggestion of who we should go to after the fortune tellers. The normalists, the city planners.
Oh, that's actually a good idea.
Yeah.
Because if they're theoretically have like hides out or like illegal storehouses or whatever,
They
Normanist
would.
is probably the
Yeah.
one that's setting them up.
Or at least would likely know of where some such things could potentially be based off of what city planning they have already done.
There's also probably
Yeah.
people in the city planning division who probably had to work on those things.
Yeah.
Right. Anything that makes it so they can't expand outwards is a big plus for us. Especially if this is going to be like a multi-year in the making type deal. I'm not sure how important Formis is going to be.
I mean, it's. We should not put them off though. There could still be stuff with Formas that we may be overlooking now.
Right.
That could
I
be
do think we should probably hit up every house, but
yeah. They may
Foreman
not.
wouldn't be a terrible person to go to, as they probably actually represent a good faction of the working class. Not all of it, but a good portion of it. City planners would
Right.
hold another good part of them as well.
I think probably Normanus and Formis is probably interchangeable about who we go to.
Probably.
Like, we should definitely hit up both, but definitely, like, interchangeable. Oh, but, okay, but here's the thing, we probably can't hit up Okay, here's a small issue. If once we get friendly with any of the factions and have them cut out Perry, we can no longer be involved with Perry. We can no longer be like snoop around their base or whatever.
No,
We
but
support-
once
we
they are
should
revoked
probably-
of everything, their property will be divided among the other remaining houses that are still in power, as well as their
Right.
assets.
But this is what I'm suggesting. I'm suggesting we, before everything else, should try to get as much knowledge on Perry as we can.
Are you thinking?
Make it easier to cut off for everyone else.
What are you thinking? Like going in there and buttering them up pretty much, and then betraying them later?
Right. Right. That's what I'm saying. Get as much information, like dirt that we can expose.
That's not going to be super easy, and you're talking
Right.
quite a long time of doing that.
Well,
'cause
everything
that
else
will
will also
definitely
take a while.
bit.
Unless they have a family member that's willing to turn on them because they don't like how the house is, like what the house is, which is
I could-
probably unlikely.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it might be on the same level of like likely in terms of us being able to get in, get in good, quote unquote, good with them and be able to get information, because like I'm just gonna throw it out there, Val, you would likely not be able to get close for obvious reasons.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I can't imagine House Perry would let me onto their property or within 10 feet of it.
Yeah.
Girl, I already have some sort of connection, if even pretty vague.
They're like
They most likely know that I know, and if I can try
We do
to
have one other
ease
problem
their fears.
to consider before deciding anything on this nature as well.
Hmm?
There was already a previous council made up
Right.
of some of these families. We don't know if any of them still have attachments to the head advisor, which means attachments to Calvin as well.
Oh, that is
Which
true.
is something we immediately have to take into consideration.
Something we should probably do while we're working on getting in touch with these families and getting, figuring out ways to cut Perry off would be to look into the former council and, see what information we could gather about them and what ways that, they leaned. If, that's possible.
It's definitely not a bad idea, but given the fact that all council members have been killed, actually, you know what's a good point that I'm just now thinking of out of character and in character?
What?
Why hasn't anyone come looking for the council members?
Oh, that's right, because
They've been dead for at least 5 days now.
Or longer. You
Or
don't know.
longer. Yeah, or longer. We have
so
no
who knows how long they've been dead?
and no one has come looking for them.
So it could have been that, very well could be that they've been dead for a hot minute and their deaths have been covered up.
Mm-hmm.
And considering of all the people who are still alive, aka head advisor, former head advisor,
Yeah.
it's very likely that he was the one who had some involvement in terms of covering that up.
I also wouldn't be terribly surprised if Calvin assisted him by putting a curse on them as well.
I mean, if you really wanted to ask, you could just say. I mean, don't get me wrong. This is a riveting discussion. I mean, I've had to, refill my drink here quite a few times. But oh no, do continue.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Wait, we're still talking in the priest's fucking room. This poor guy. Fucking apologies up and down the fucking wall here, having to have this poor fucker undergo this.
I was so confused. I was like, did Calvin sneak in? Is that the advisor?
That's
What the
I
hell's
was
going
like,
on?
Is it Calvin?
Nah, I'm just messing with you guys. Don't worry.
Yeah. No, I just I love the idea that the priest just literally said that to us.
No.
He's gone off to get some popcorn.
Now, if this were anywhere else, though.
Yeah. I don't know which family I'm fucking missing. Anyways, so yeah, there's a lot of things here to consider, and again, I'm going to restate this. This is probably going to be a several months to a year long endeavor, if maybe not longer. If you guys want to back out of this, I would say this is probably around the last time that you get a chance to do so.
No.
Oh, definitely not.
Yeah, hey, Val, I just thought of something that could be of use in terms of figuring out information with
What's
council
that?
members. We place of, between this, obviously, with where we are now, and, some of the other, religions. We have to be very careful about who we bring onto this. However, there are a few clerics. There are going to be a few clerics who know how to speak with dead.
Assuming those dead still want to talk, but maybe they'll hold enough grudge against being killed that they don't care. it's worth a shot if we could get them.
Another thing too, when we start, buttering up the different deals and whatnot, I think we should probably split up. Cause think about it this way: imagine being House Perry, and you see these Crown Prince and his cohorts all start like hanging out one deal, all of them, and then suddenly that connection is gone. What are you going to think?
There's
Especially
definitely
if one of his friends most likely knows about your dirt.
Gideon, you might have a big target on your back.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think I should probably
Ooh.
go independently and try to cut off deals independently from you guys. I already most likely have a huge target. Might as well not try to spread that across y'all.
Well, I have a big target on my back as well then, because I'm a crown prince who's now assuming authority right now. Though
Right.
it's not out in the open and obvious, anyone who comes to the palace is going to realize that I am assuming authority currently. It's already suspicious as is, considering most people who know of my exile are going to be within that circle.
Right, but it'll be even more suspicious if me and you go to Dareth or whatever as a group, and suddenly their connection to Dareth is gone.
I just had a thought about that.
What's that,
It
Barrett?
goes from, oh, you might be a risk to, oh, you are a risk.
What if we tell them, the house that we go to get them to cut loose with Perry? What if we tell them to not cut immediately?
Well, even if they were to cut immediately, it's still going to be a slow process. They already have contracts and stuff in place.
Yeah.
So it's going to be... It might be better to have House Gareth just come up with excuses for why they're cutting off connections with House Perry. Rather than straight cutting it. First off, because it's not realistically possible. Secondly, if they just slow down and are slowly severing it, then it might not be as suspicious until it gets to a point that it's suspicious.
Yeah, they could probably just say, like, the guards are investigating them more or something.
Well, they can also just say, since they're familiar with seed trade, it'd probably be easier for them to have something more related to that, such as storms were worse than they were foretold, or exports and import I'm forgetting the word, checks are taking longer for whatever reason.
Yeah, like that's what I'm thinking. Have the families that we do talk to and do convince to cut, to do so gradually,
rather than all at once.
Yeah.
It might be better. It might definitely be better that way, Barrack. If we can get the families to slowly cut their ties, and then have them all do it at once at a later date, might be better.
Yeah.
You understand my point, right, though?
Yeah. But yeah, you, Gideon, are likely going to have at least a bit of a target on your back. Val definitely has a target on his back.
And everyone already knows we're friends.
Yeah, but being friends is different from all of us showing up at a guild and them cutting off them.
Noble houses, but might as well be guilds.
Well,
it'd be easier if they were guilds.
So I do sort of suggest that I at least try to keep a low profile away from you guys. Because as right now, they have no way of knowing that you guys know. What's this?
There's another problem with you trying to keep a low profile from us, though, which is the fact that plenty of people within these circles have seen us entering and exiting the palace at this rate.
Right, but that's easy enough to explain away. That isn't saying, oh, so Val or you, the prince, knows that Perry is evil or whatever.
Currently, they don't know, which is our only benefit as of right now.
Right, And if they see us together and we're at like the same
Someone's on my
like
door.
noble house together, and suddenly that noble house is shutting them off.
Gareth to have them cut off Perry. That's not our current goal. Our current goal is to figure out what Perry has on Gareth so that we can start a process of them being able to cut them off.
Right, but if we ask around and Perry catches wind of that,
Perry's going to catch wind of it either way, and it's only just a matter of time of how long we can hide it.
right, I just want to hide it as much as possible because, frankly, I do not want a noble house bearing down on you.
We
Or
also have
all
a
of you.
current thing that we can use to our advantage, though it will be mildly complicated in explaining it, which is going to be the fact that we are legitimately looking for council members. Now
Well, there is
we get away with doing this by not telling them that we are replacing council members, just that we are looking for council members and let them play that to their own imaginations.
right. Oh, and this is not as important, but still a thing to remember. We still need to clear up the debt with the wizard. The reason why we're here to begin with.
Yeah, I know. I'm not gonna lie,
Wait,
kind of a back burner thing for me right now.
wait, do you have the thing that the wizard wants? Or do we have the thing that he wants?
Elle has it.
Al has it. I'm assuming we can't just have the dragon that. I'm assuming we just can't have the dragon go and take it. We don't know how big it is or anything.
No, not as far as I know.
Mm. There's no way you can get in contact with her, can you? That isn't traveling all the way there and back.
Does Val have a way of connecting or contacting Elle without going all the way to her grove?
Hi, I'm back. What did I miss?
We're now talking about whether or not there's a way to get in contact with Elle.
Hey, I might have a way to do that, but I don't have it prepared.
Well, because she said we need to be back within. She said she'll have it prepared by 2 weeks, and it's been like I don't even know how long.
Been like a
Like,
month at the
yeah.
bare minimum.
I got my
yeah.
staff. We can use that.
Yeah, that's right. We should probably
Oh
go do
yeah,
that.
you do have your staff. That recharges daily, right?
I think so.
So, wait, we can go do that now if we want to. We can do that at any time.
Yeah.
Wait, we can go back to the facility immediately. We could just hop between the facility and the kingdom now. As long as Mara don't forget.
That's true.
Yeah.
gotta
I
keep
don't know
in
if we
mind-
can get inside the facility because of its barrier construction, but
Well,
we could
I'm
at
pretty
least be
sure
outside
Mara.
of it.
Yeah.
We will also
Uh,
want to make sure we keep a track of how many charges it has, though.
Well, the
Yeah, we
charges
don't want to
matter as
accidentally get
much.
stuck somewhere where we don't want to be stuck at.
Oh yeah. Okay. And then she's going to check the charges. How many were there? I think there were 2 when we used them.
Well, that was
last.
just how many charges were left. I think it had
Yeah.
like a total of like 5 or 6, which I could be
Yeah, it's
wrong.
been
I
5,
could
yeah.
be wrong. Do not hold
7
me to that.
total charges.
7 total charges, and that's how many I have right now.
That is your maximum. You are now up to 5.
Okay. Okay, I got 5 charges left.
So we use 1 to get there, 1 to get back. That's 2. That still leaves 3 charges if need be.
No, I think we should probably go to Ellie, get the thing, then go back to the wizard. We should probably clear that off, so we don't forget it.
Oh
So,
yeah.
to be honest, I almost forgot about the Ellie thing entirely. We don't want to make another wizard mad.
No, but I think we can also reasonably explain our situation to also be forgiven for why it's taken so long.
Oh, or Mara, you can just blow the whistle.
I think
After
we've
we did
tried
it.
that, and he said no.
Yeah, he doesn't want to come here. That's why we're getting the thing.
Alright, so let's get the thing, go back to near the facility, hand it over, then just teleport back. Be done in like about like an hour or so.
Yeah, we could do that. I don't have a
Yeah, we
problem
should do
with
it
doing
before.
that. But
Yeah, we
I definitely am coming back here regardless of anything.
Yeah, we should probably do it before we forget it and get neck deep and everything else.
All right.
Are you
And
saying we're not
Val-
already head deep in all of this shit already?
Yeah, and Val, you said it's our choice why we have an opinion in this matter. So remember, we need to stick with you, or
I
Calvin
appreciate
will do horrible things.
I appreciate it. But let's go to Elle. I already have an apology I have to give her.
All right. And all right. She pulls out the staff, and in the language
Wait,
that
we should
Hold on,
let's
Mara,
do it.
before you do that.
Let's do it not in the priest's room, please.
Unless the priest is okay with it. If the priest is okay with it, then by all means, but we should get his permission first.
Yeah, he probably don't want seemingly demonic artifact use its magic in the sanctity of the temple.
Mara, did you actually pull the staff out?
yeah.
Yeah, I was about to say, no one stopped her. We just stopped her from casting it.
You can see this head priest very nervously sipping on the water, his hand shaking a little bit, watching the staff warily.
Sorry.
Sorry about that.
It's
The
perfectly
staff
safe.
allows us to teleport. Would it be okay to use here, or would you prefer if we had left?
I believe it would be preferable to use it outside the temple grounds, if you wouldn't mind.
Thank
Of
you.
course not.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mara, go ahead and put it back, and we'll just go back into the palace and use it there, where we know we can use it and can safely use it.
All right. And she starts marching on out.
Val will turn to the priest and bow to him and thank him for his time, as well as the information that he was willing to share.
He nods to you all.
And then we will exit his room.
Yeah.
Alright. You guys leave the temple and stood outside.
You just see Gideon just sort of flinch the moment he goes out in the sun. So bright, Jesus. Or Lyressa.
Are you okay?
Jesus now exists as a D&D character.
You just killed Val with that.
In fairness, that's not hard. Alright, so we're gonna head back to the palace.
Yep.
And,
Happened easy enough.
yep, and then we're just gonna go to a room or an area that's mostly secluded that people aren't walking through, so we can use the staff privately.
Yep. And when everything's all ready, she pulls out the staff and speaks in Nervenum, El's Grove.
Alright. You see the gateway open?
Bloody hell.
One second.
Oh god. Oh, that's dice I hear. Oh god.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Oh my god!
That was a lot
How
of
many?
dice.
I was dumping the bag out. I actually just
Oh,
recently got a new
okay.
dice bag.
Okay.
So I was enjoying it.
Okay.
Panic. How to give your players a heart attack.
Dump out your bag of dice.
Dump out your bag of dice, but don't tell them that you're dumping out a bag of dice to find the dice you're gonna roll.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm just counting how many 20s there are.
Well, there's more than 5 in here now. There's more
No,
than
no,
5
I-
d20s I have.
I'm counting how many d10s and d8s there are for reasons.
Grab the
But
bottom drawer and
you
dump it.
open it, and there is El's Grove. Although everyone except Val,
Uh-oh.
quickly make a. So, actually, no, never mind. You guys all end up walking through and see a sight which Val has witnessed, but none the rest of you have.
Is she naked?
Hey, Mara got it.
Gideon neatly averts his gaze. Oh
I
god,
didn't
oh fuck.
actually hear Mara, so I have no idea what Mara just said.
She's naked.
Oh.
And Val, that's a pleasantly yum sight for you.
Hi, nice plant lady.
Hello,
She
Elle.
freezes, looks over her shoulder, turns around to face you all with hands on her hips. Goodness. Rude. Didn't even knock.
Sorry.
Oh well, I'm still happy to see you.
Sorry, we used a staff. I didn't think it would literally put us right here.
She walks up and says, "It's okay. I can cover myself this way," and gives you a hug.
Tentatively hugs back. It was good. It's good to see you again, Elle, and apologies for the delay.
Well, I said I was willing to wait, so here I am, waiting. No, I don't think you came here for pleasure. I think you came for business.
Yes, before we forget and get absolutely neck deep in a whole other mess.
She nods, urging you to finish your sentence.
We need the thing for the wizard.
Yeah. We need the thing for the wizard, is the reason we came back.
Ah, I see. Oh, I suppose he's waiting for that, isn't he?
Yeah.
Give me just a moment. Well, actually, here. You come with me, since I don't want the rest of them to stare.
Oh, okay. Val just kind of follows
Yeah.
behind.
Yeah, it's like I know Varric would have respectfully averted his gaze.
Yeah, Gideon did the same.
Because
Yeah.
we respect, we respect her, and we,
Gideon is a taken man, he is not looking.
I'm not. Nope. Leave that message. Not doing it there.
Meanwhile, Mara doesn't care.
She hands to you, Val, a little box. It is one that you can feel that there is something magical in there. So there you are, all nicely boxed up. I even got some nice cotton that I made myself. Put it all together, made a little cushion. It should be just what he's looking for.
Any precautions I need to take with this, or is it good to just throw in my bag and move on with it?
I just recommend you don't open it. He doesn't like people snooping in these things.
That's understandable. I wasn't even gonna attempt to ask what it was.
Are you okay, though?
He's hesitant to answer as he shakes his head, but he shakes his head no eventually. I got a lot on my plate right now, and it seems like every time I clean it off and get something sorted, another mess gets dumped right back onto it.
Would you like somebody to just listen at all?
He smiles, like puts his head down and smiles, kind of like grasping the gift in his hand, or not the gift, but the parcel in his hand. I appreciate it, but I've already been talking it over with the others, and we have a bit of a solid plan, but it's I need solutions rather than talking it out, if you get what I mean.
I do see what you mean.
But and then Val will just go into just more or less describing the events for like the last month or so that we've been gone to her. Why that was the reason it took us so long to get back, why we're now just arriving, why we arrived the way we did, why Val's in the state that he is, because he looks different than the last time he was here. And and is more or less just describing now in vagueness of the current events of like his kingdom, and that it's just a very complicated political mess, which he understands that her being the queen of the grove, that's not necessarily something that would probably be like important to her. And he at the end of all of that, when he gets done, he'll look to her and kind of embarrassedly like cover his face, being like, I literally just said I wasn't gonna do that, and I did it anyways. I'm sorry.
You know, I don't mind. I really don't mind. I did offer to listen after all.
And I said I wasn't gonna bother you with it. But thank you. And he'll bow to her slightly, and I better get going. This is just one of the many things on my plate that I have to still deal with.
Well, you know you're always welcome back here if you'd like.
I very much appreciate your generosity.
There's always a little relaxation waiting for you. And she gives you a little wink.
Just like the blush just gets a little deeper, and it's just like, thank you again. And he will just kind of scurry his way out, like politely.
So you guys walk out. You see that all of the greenery in Val's hair is very, very vibrantly bright and colorful and blooming full.
Okay, I think we're ready to go with this.
Yeah, it's like, got what you needed, Val.
Yeah, and he'll gesture to the package. No special precautions we have to take. Just don't open it, is what I was told.
Alright, so let's need to go back to the facility.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Or near it. So
Yeah.
let's go back to the guild or whatever is most important.
Well, we're trying to get to the wizard guy whose name I'm currently forgetting.
Well, we can just
We
go to
know
his
where he
tower.
lives.
Oh, okay. Do you
He
guys
has
know
a
where
tower?
that is?
Yeah. Let's go, Wizard Tower. Ender Venom.
You sort of get a sense like error.
Oh.
Maybe specify with his name.
Hang on.
Ross,
Wizard. Wait, man, might be easier. In, what's for lazy tieflings? Wizard. Elros Jugnip. Alright, that's it. Alright.
The funky wizard.
Elros Jugnip's tower.
And it immediately opens a portal into the area of his tower. He kind of like flickers a little bit as it tries to find a safe spot to arrive, but then settles somewhere and remains opened.
Alright, let's go.
And everyone will step through the portal, I assume.
Yeah.
Yep.
You arrive, and you look around, and you can only see the small patch of ground that you're standing on, which is not large. It only extends for another 10 feet behind you. You're sort of 10 feet away from the tower, and it is not a large space. And you can see that you are high enough up that it is just clouds for pretty much as far as you can see.
Talk about a sea of clouds.
Mara puts her
This is a
hands up.
great
You
place.
just hear Gideon drone.
Mara puts her hands up to her mouth. Mr. Wizard, we got your thing.
Crash, clang, pots and pans noises, thump, thud, crash. An explosion out one window. Door then slam open. What? Ooh. At this hour?
What time is it?
Too bright. Yeah.
Read. How do you all know where my house is?
Don't question it.
I've-
Just accept the damn package so we can get back.
I've been to your house, Mr.
What,
Wizard.
Package? What package? Where?
And Val will extend the package forward.
Ah. He actually rather politely takes it. He doesn't, yoink it or anything. Shakes it. Can't use lick. Opens it. Pulls out a cylinder. Ah, perfect. Yes. Yes. Perfect. Telescope. Yes. And kind of takes a cap off and it goes shwook, and it's an extending telescope, and then kind of gives it a little flick on one side, and a tripod extends out of it. Perfect. Yes. Yes, the Alram that she spoke with happens to be one of the only lens makers in that entire area that's actually worth anything. I know you elves have all your haughty and sort of standards for everything, but ugh, your lens is rubbish quality. Rubbish, terrible, terrible rubbish.
I'm
Anyway,
insulted, but I'm insulted on the behalf of my species at the same time of which I also insult. So I'm neutral stance.
sounds complicated and like a you problem.
Mhm. Like almost everything that you do is a you problem that you just drag us into.
Profound. Profound. So waves a hand, notebook appears, and seems scribbling it down. Says, profound. There's a you problem. There's also a you. That's great. That's great. I'll be using that one in my lectures. Very good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. I forgot why we even had to get this. Was this for the payment for him transporting us to the other continent?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So delayed payment, got it. All right. So we're good then, right?
Right.
Oh yes.
The only
yes.
thing
All fine.
we
That's paid.
All right, bye,
Bye.
Mr. Wizard.
Good seeing you, I guess. I think this is only like our second or third time meeting at best.
Oh, you? Oh no,
Yeah.
you and I? Oh no, you and I have actually. Don't you remember? I taught at your school.
My school.
I suppose I was a little. I suppose they're a little more cleaned up.
You taught at the Elven Palace?
Yes.
I don't remember you.
Like I said, it was a lot more cleaned up.
Well, I guess good seeing you again. Sorry I don't remember you. I've had a lot happen since you taught me.
That immediate typing.
No, that was me asking Diamond a question.
Oh.
Gotcha.
Ah. Okay. Hang on.
Well, I suppose anything I can do for you is you're all still sort of standing here on my front lawn.
Not unless you can solve our problems back home, but I'm not ready to pay off another debt to you.
No. Come on. Problems have you got? What problems? Come on.
I got a dead council, and I don't know how they died, and I now have to replace them so I can revoke my exile status so I can actually do something about my kingdom. So
Definitely difficult. Can help you
that's-
though. I can help you with that.
You can?
Huh? Yes. Oh yes.
How can you help us, Mr. Wizard?
I mean, mostly I can connect you with people who actually help you investigate how they died and everything. You know, what connections with that, or to get you in places you aren't necessarily supposed to be. Plenty of things.
I mean, I'm willing to take a hand, but what's it gonna cost?
Oh, my internet died. Great.
How gauge?
My internet's
I-
back.
Connections?
Hello,
Nothing.
man.
I will take either or, honestly.
Alright. Wait, I suppose, which is preferable? Do you want me to just, like, help? Or do you want me to just get you the people? Because I have to know before I'm going to commit.
Trust is a really hard thing right now where we're at. And I'm sure the
Yeah.
cost is gonna be high, but I trust you.
Alright, yes, okay.
So if you would come to do it, I'd appreciate it. We'll try to not take too much of your time, but we just need some answers, and hopefully that'll be it.
Alright. Well, we'll take things one at a time, and We'll price based off that. If there's sounds fair. Sounds fair. Do it like a per item basis.
That sounds fair.
Very good, very good. Mara, you delightfully bright pink thing, you.
Yes.
Let's have a teleport back to whatever it is we're going next.
Back to the
Where are
palace,
we going?
Mara.
All right. And then Intervenom to Val's room.
Zoop. Portal opens right to Val's room. Slightly cleaner than last time you were there. At least, I hope. Since perhaps he's
mean-
actually had it cleaned.
I assume that it's been clean in at least the 5 days we've been back in it. For the occasional periods, we leave the room to go eat. Maybe just
Then
like some,
indeed, it is notably cleaner.
yeah, maybe just some books and piles of papers everywhere from Val and Barrick trying to find that location for 5 days straight.
Ooh. All right, whatever. Very nice, very nice, very nice. He walks through.
I'm assuming we'll all follow it. as
Yeah,
well.
Yep.
yeah. Val's not gonna stay on
No.
the other side of the portal. He's gonna leave.
We just leave the wizard to deal with it. We all do our own thing.
We're at his place now. What's he gonna do? No, joking.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, Val at least walks through. I don't know about everybody else.
Yeah, absolutely.
Same. I'll also walk with-
So Val will obviously guide him to the council chambers where the scene has been remained untouched since he has been in there.
Oh, goodness. Mighty crispy. Oh, wow. Oh, very crispy. Ooh. No. Not good, not good, not good.
We think the head advisor. Well, we know the head advisor is involved with a demon named Calvin as of right now.
And we're
We're pretty sure they did something. We just
Yeah,
don't know
we-
what.
suspicions that the former head advisor was involved with this in some capacity.
Yes, well, it does look like a wizard's handiwork, I must say. Yes, it could certainly be his. We can approximate the right last pattern. It's kind of angles. Potential. See him like open his robes. He starts pulling things out. He pulls something out, chases his head, puts it back. Something out, chases his head, puts it back. Something out, chases his head, puts it back. Pulls like. It's an entire, 6-foot pole arm. Ah! Yes. Yes, that'll do. Right. Anybody in particular you would like to ask a question?
How familiar was Val with each of these council members?
I mean, about as familiar as you'd be with coworkers.
Okay.
Middling, depending on which.
Is there one or two at least that Val maybe is particularly more close to than the rest?
I would imagine so.
Okay. So Val would probably start with them and then just more or less work around the room after that. As that's just more or less at least a vague heading of some sort that he could use.
Alright, well, you will have to tell Mr. Jugnip which you wished to speak with.
I don't think we were ever given names. I think we've only just referred to them as a collective as council and council member.
Yeah.
Honestly, you've sort of taken a fairly forward seat in developing some of this, so I'm gonna make you give me a name.
Shit. I'm bad with names on the spot. Give me a minute. Panic.
Panic!
Panic. Panic.
I'm cheating. You can judge me later. I'm cheating.
Are you using a fantasy name generator?
Fuck yeah, I'm using a fantasy name generator.
Oh,
Gotta finish writing my notes, and I need like 6 hands. How many council members are there in total? Because I assume I'm gonna have to come up with a name for each of them.
You're not going to be coming up with a name for 40 different characters.
Oh, Jesus Christ! No, I'm not.
Oh,
No,
I was
no, siree.
I was thinking like 6 or 7. Wow.
I thought there was like 8 council members, maybe
Were you
10 at
listening to
most.
the description of the room that I gave you?
That was last week. I have the brain memory of a peanut. You're lucky I remember people's names.
Okay, so then, for the sake of memory, no, you are not going to come up with a name for 40-odd council members.
Thank you.
That makes this murder all the more impressive. Wow.
The fact that we're narrowing the fucking council to 4, maybe a 5th person who's gonna just play neutral party and tell everyone to play nice is going to be astronomical.
Yeah.
I feel bad for these guys. They are going to need a huge pay raise.
Ooh. If they don't have gray hair by the end of the week, I will be shocked.
We're gonna go with, this guy's name is gonna be named Voron, Vero.
Voron Vero.
Okay. All right. Which do you recognize the skeleton at all? Okay. Better question: did he ever have anything on him that was something he would never leave home without? It also would not have been destroyed by a fire, ideally.
I think he always wore a, there was a special brooch his wife got him one year for their anniversary. I don't think I ever saw him without it afterwards.
Perfect. That works for me. Excellent. One second. Can you describe it even vaguely?
I think it was a peacock. It was a red and white peacock, to symbolize their 50th anniversary or something.
He nods. You see his eyes focus off into the middle distance for a second. Spins his head around. Rears his arm back. Yeets the spear, which sails precisely through the air, striking through the skeleton of this said noble, and immediately you see a ghost's form kicked out of the skeleton, sail through the air, and come to a sort of a soft, stuttering halt floating above you. And you see this ghost, like, padding ethereal body, gawking at his skeleton, gawking at the rest of the room, staring down, gawking at you, makes a gawking face at the fact that he's floating, flailing his arms around a little, he's trying to speak, but can't. Then sort of just floats down and makes a frantic writing motion.
Voron Vero? Val questions, essentially.
Nods, goes to bap you on the back of your head like Gibbs would, but hand just goes through your head.
Ugh, chilly. Yeah, if you haven't been able to put 2 and 2 together yet, you and the rest of the council are dead.
Makes an expression like, duh.
Smartass. Anyways, we need to know what happened to you.
Makes the writing motion again, a little more frustrated this time.
Barrick, you have pen and paper still, right?
Barrick is BRB.
Ah, Barrick's damn it! I was giving you a roleplay moment, damn it!
Barrick says, yep, he has some.
Okay. Can I have the... Let me get it out. Okay. So
Right,
basically,
Barrick.
Val is going to get pen and paper from Barrick to hand to Voron.
Yep, nods and takes the paper, seemingly able to handle this object. Takes the pen and begins writing out a description, and quickly flips through to another page before you can read what that is, and then you read, or you watch, as a sketch is drawn. It is not of the head advisor. It isn't, in fact, even of the of Calvin. That is certainly not the form you know him to prefer. Mara, though.
Oh?
This immediately strikes a memory in your brain bits.
Oh?
This is someone very familiar to you, though it is not a happy familiarity.
Oh.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy.
Auto typing.
God, I literally felt my heart sank when I heard him typing. Jeez.
Oh. You shouldn't let it sink. You gotta get it excited. 'Cause it's like, ooh, what kind of information am I gonna get?
Oh.
Or you can do what I usually do, which is usually have anxiety about it, because it's like, who the fuck is it going to? And what the fuck is it gonna say?
Oh.
And there you go.
Well, I wasn't expecting that part of the backstory to come back, huh? Well, shit.
You thought I didn't remember,
No,
did you?
it's not that I thought you didn't remember. It's that I expected that to just be a part. Okay. I didn't expect it to be of any importance. Okay.
I would just
Oh,
like to
there
say, I would just like to say, screw you, Diamond, because that was the same thing I expected when I joined this campaign and didn't expect by session 3 to be going to my home country for my backstory. So, ha! Joke's on you!
I mean, I expected backstory. I just okay. All right. All right. All right. Whoa. Okay. So. Mara, as soon as she sees that drawing, she immediately goes and snatches the paper from Mr. Vero's hands. It's him. Oh my god, it's him. I remember now. Oh, how did I not remember? I'm so stupid. Ah! She starts smacking her head.
Whoa, whoa, Mara, Mara, Mara! And
This-
Val will go to stop her from hitting herself.
That guy, he was at the party. He was at the party, and I saw him. And also, he attacked my village. That guy, he was leading a group of bandits. They came to my village, and I stopped them. But he was the leader. He was with them. Ah!
Did Mara only grab, like, just that sheet of paper then?
I
Okay.
think anyway.
Alright. Yeah. So what does this have to do with you dying? And Val turns to Voron to obviously ask that question.
Kind of looks at you like you just asked the stupidest question imaginable. Points to his skeleton that is charred and covered in soot. And
No,
points at the
bitch,
picture.
Sherlock, I understood that much. I've been exiled, not made a retard.
Kind of gives you that "are you sure" kind of expression.
If I could hit you, I would. I could hit your skeleton. That'd make me feel better, and you wouldn't feel anything. So in the end, I just wouldn't feel great about it.
He ends up just smiling and shaking his head.
Alright, let's see what you wrote down then. And he goes to take the paper that has been written on.
It describes how this very same man entered in with what seemed to be a business proposal. It didn't last long, as the council very much flat out refused whatever proposal he was putting down. He didn't like this, and the council was already preparing to leave. They basically formally ended the session before he could even fully, like, present a counter argument, because they just would not hear what he was offering. They did not want it, they were not buying, and they were not even going to give him the seats to sell. He did not take kindly to this. They found that, for whatever reason, they were physically incapable of leaving, and as they, this was basically one of them had run off, you know, because he had started leaving quite quickly, faster than the rest, found he couldn't leave, had run back, informed the rest of them, and then that was when it had started. Flames, the heat and likes of which had not been felt, burned flesh from their bones, yet they still could feel, bleached their bones, still they could feel, made him writhe in pain and misery for the course of a day as he watched with a smile.
Val just when he reads that is just, you can see that he went from kind of like the jovial, snarky attitude that we're used to having Val as, to like deeply disturbed and depressed by reading this. I know it doesn't probably mean anything, Voron, but I'm sorry. Bloody hell.
His ghost nods to you.
Well, that at least solves what happened to the council, and we can... gods forbid me actually say this, but we can actually say that at least probably the head advisor was probably not involved. But that doesn't necessarily mean Calvin wasn't.
Actually, he most likely is involved. He was.
Well, yeah, he's...
Sorry, he said he was a bandit leader?
Yeah. They attacked
Well,
my village.
we already know that Calvin is sort of like related to the bandits. He's either outright their leader or he's working with them. I'm willing to bet that this is the same for this specific bandit too.
Lana, real quick, would I be able to like tell if the bandits that attacked my village were the same that are the bandits that Calvin is?
Timberwolves?
Yeah.
Timberwolves.
No, they are not the same.
All right.
Those who you fought were, although not stronger, were more professional.
No, they're different. They're separate bandits, different ones.
Great. So
Well,
what I'm
that's
hearing is
because
an entirely new threat then.
Well, that's because they're not Timberwolves doesn't mean they're not related to Calvin. He could have deals with multiple bandit groups going on.
That's true.
We do know where all the Timberwolves bases are, but that's not going to really help here.
Well, that's not relevant if it's not the same bandit camp. Unless
Right, but they
that
might have
bandit takes
relations
over a
around.
Timberwolf bandit camp.
Right.
Val turns back to Voron and asks him, obviously we have another problem as well, which is the fact that now there is currently no council and the king and queen are more or less in a state of death right now. What was your stance on the former head advisor?
Cal looks at you thoughtfully for a moment, scratches his chin, looks off into the middle distance, and then looks back and shakes his head, and then takes the pen and paper and writes down that he wasn't good. Seemed to at least have the interests of the kingdom in mind.
That's another thing that we never solved, was why, like, what was the head advisor's main reason for having this amount of power, and basically keeping up the charade the entire time. I didn't even think of figuring that out. If it was just to gain resources, then it would make sense that he keep the kingdom profitable so that he could constantly have a supply in. But that's not an answer I don't think anyone here has.
Yeah, there's probably some ulterior motive to that we do not know yet.
Yeah. So even if he was acting as if the kingdom was in his best interest, there was a motive behind it that was to strictly benefit him. We're getting a new council together. But we recently discovered that the Perry House has been blackmailing and extorting and doing a whole list of unspeakable things. We're gonna try and take them down. Is there any of the 7 families that you would recommend for a council position?
He looks thoughtful for a few moments. And then he writes down, better to not poke that bear right now. Seek Lord Fondal. He knows the dens of the vipers better than any. He and his wife will help you more safely attack that. If you go in as you are now, you're likely to disappear.
Ooh.
That advice is greatly appreciated.
Yeah, it's like
Lana,
really-
you liar. You said this would be an easy, fun little game. Murder Council.
Yes, I said that you, the players, whom are largely directing this, went and poked your noses into things.
Hey, in fairness, you can't blame the rest of the party. It was my fault. I coaxed him into it.
Were we supposed to not investigate the murder of Val's co-workers?
Not
like, and this was
I'm
like on.
saying,
Oh, bunch of bodies. That's cool. Let's have a vacation.
yeah.
In fairness, Val gave you guys 2 outs. Like 2 times he gave you outs to be like, hey, we're just gonna fuck off. This is
literally
your
can't.
problem.
We literally can't. Calvin would burn Valmara's village to the ground. We are legally not allowed to separate from Val.
Wait, did he know that?
Val probably knows that because I think Calvin straight up told him, "Oh yeah, by the way, you're not allowed to leave."
Yeah, but I don't think Val knew about the that other part you said.
Ah. Yeah.
you guys knew that you all are to be working together. It is effectively Calvin's little game. You all stay together and work with one another and do your little adventuring hero things, and he won't meddle and interfere.
Yep.
You guys separate, you guys leave his ability of sight, and that's when he gets unhappy.
As we've seen with Gloria.
Right. And he's also directly threatened to commit genocide if Mara does not do what he asks.
Yep.
Good to know.
So,
Well-
stand-up guy, ain't he?
Yeah, stand up for, a demon. That being said, though, that gives us a really good lead of where to begin. Fondland was one of the families we wanted to talk to regardless, and we believe is going to be on our side anyways. So, I think armed with this, I think we can confidently say that we can go, and that should be our next stop after all of this.
Yep.
Is there anything
So-
else that we need to ask of Voron before we let him rest?
No, I'm not really coming up with much because I'm just kind of thinking it's like even if we were to somehow bring a few of these, the council members here back, it'd still be at a far greater power level than what some of us can currently cast. And even
And
then,
I
they'd
think
have-
the price to ask someone else to do it will be way too high than what we can do.
yeah. It's just the biggest thing would be if some of the members that had unfortunately passed away here are willing, wanting and willing to come back.
Well, they're all nobles, more or less, right?
Yes, I think
I-
most
I'd
of them come
assume
from
that
North
their
Korea.
families or whatnot would be wealthy enough and caring enough to want them revived.
Well, some of them come from families that would probably be wealthy enough, and then some of them come from lesser families, though technically considered nobles are. It's
nobles
like
and
the level of a
noble and
baron.
yeah. It's a noble in title, not necessarily in wealth.
Yeah, exactly. On top of that, with the confirmation of them with their passing, any sons or daughters that were left to succeed the throne, unless they want their parent back, are not going to spend the resources to have them come back.
Well,
Not to
that's not.
mention, do you want to open a giant power vacuum struggle thing? Ooh, nobles fighting over that? Ugh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
nasty.
Well, that's not
Exactly.
including the fact that if we're thinking about it, obviously, the only spells that I could think of that would have the chance of bring these, bring them back, because obviously they're, been dead long enough that I can't do anything about them at my current level.
I think at this point, isn't
Yeah,
it
it-
pretty
it's-
much
it-
nothing short of a wish spell?
Resurrection.
Barrett, get the cards.
Oh, no. Eric,
No.
this is why you're in charge of the cards.
No. No, I'm not willing to take that risk because the biggest thing is, especially for something like from what I do have heard about resurrection, and this is just from what I recall reading here and there about it, and from the few who have cast it, it has to be the soul itself has to be free and willing.
I mean, also,
Yeah.
the deck also just has a straight up wish spell in there.
And that's the deck you know the contents of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not including the other two that were just like,
And it's one of those things where it's just like we'd have to go around to each and every one to be like, hey, do you want to come back or not?
yeah.
As you can see, there's a lot of dead people. No offense, dead people.
And that's not including the families of all of those who have passed. So
Yeah. It would be a massive mess.
it'd be a headache and a half.
That's putting it mildly.
So
with that said, I think one of the last things Val would ask would be if Boron knows of any, basically anything about House Perry that we don't already know.
He just taps his previous note about speak to the Fundalans.
Understood. Guys, could you give me a minute with
Yeah.
Voron? I want to ask him something privately.
Right.
Okay.
We don't actually have to go into a private chat, Lana. It's a formality on Val's part.
Yeah.
No, I
Varric will
understand this is
definitely-
just for roleplay.
Yeah, Varric will definitely, step off to a point, where he, like, probably in the room where it's like he's still in the room, but it's like he can't really overhear it unless he's really paying attention, and he's not paying attention. He's probably looking to see what else could be, done.
I think after this, we should probably see if Val can set up a room for Gloria, like areas where she can actually do her alchemy.
Yeah, we can do that. That's fine.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you have a ladder somewhere in your whole castle?
Oh, easily. I'll have to probably ask a servant where it's at, though. It's been a while since I've been here, so I don't remember the layout of everywhere. Actually,
Oh,
I'm about to go and infiltrate a lab as well.
Oh,
Oh. And since we're eventually planning to head over there anyways, we could probably see if we can set her up with what was it? The Umdaza? The alchemy people.
We want to understand their connection to Perry before that, but before we go
Right,
further
I'm
with this, I want to
thinking
finish
after.
my conversation with Voron before.
Yeah, though this is the quick suggestion I just remembered.
Yeah. So Val's gonna go back to Voron, and I'm assuming everyone has moved away.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
it has.
And basically he just looks to Voron and asks if there are any special rites or burials, or if there's anything he wants Val to tell his wife and family before the spell ends. Final wishes, basically, is the concept here.
He thinks for a few moments. He floats over to his corpse and points at the locket, the pendant that you had mentioned.
The brooch.
And he looks at you and gives you a nod and puts a hand over his heart. Give
I
it
understand.
to somebody who's close to my heart.
Val nods back and says he understands.
He smiles at that and then looks content. Like, very content. Just seems already to be more at peace.
Val will obviously go over to his charred remains and remove the brooch and kind of lightly dust it off to remove the soot and debris that might have been attached to it, and pockets it, essentially.
And you do so. It's quite thickly coated, but it's easy enough to get it off. It shimmers slightly now that it is recently and even slightly polished. And he nods and slowly seems to begin dissolving. is gone.
Yep.
Hello?
Hello indeed, Koga.
Hello.
What up?
Hello. Not much.
Hello.
I think Koga forgot to mute himself.
Yep.
Hello? What?
Hello.
Am I
Hello?
muted? No. Yeah, but you say I forgot to unmute myself, or...
Forgot to mute yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not saying hi, I don't know why it's all silent.
True.
It was sort of that after a somber moment kind of
Yeah.
silence.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
all
that's fair
good.
enough. That's not to be as like accidentally like muted everyone or something.
No, you're all good, all good. We're still here.
All right. Yeah, so with that, Val would essentially wrap that up and join up with everybody else.
Sweetie doo dah.
Sweetie do now, sweetie do eh.
Alright. What you guys doing then? Where you going? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, bad boys.
I was about to say, I hate to be that guy, but there is only 9 minutes to midnight.
That's true. Yeah, that's a good point.
Might be a good idea because this does seem like a good spot to like call it, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
naturally call it, and then pick it up like
Next
next
week,
session.
sadly.
Yep.
Especially considering you guys just got some bombshells dropped on y'all.
Yeah.
Lots of bombshells.
Part
We
of-
got bombarded.
Gonna have to deal with part of Mara's backstory I thought would just be left in the past. Okay.
You
Tell
thought
you
it was
the
that
guy.
guy.
Okay, who includes bandit leader raided village and don't expect bandit leader to pop up?
Okay, no, here's the thing. So, like, the whole backstory was Mara's initial backstory was essentially just that she was in a village, town got raided, she fought the raiders off. Oh, cool, I'm good at magic. I should go and be an adventurer, and she did. And that was basically her backstory. And
I love it. It's such a Mara thing too.
absolutely.
Oh, these people are bad. I should try and do something. Oh, hey, I can cast magic. Alright. So
Well,
when we return next week, our plan is to we got a lot of plan, but our immediate plan, I should say, is to
Talk to the head of house.
yeah, we're gonna do this in order of where we're at. We're in the palace right now. We're gonna
Yeah.
take care of things in the palace, and then we're gonna do things outside the palace.
yeah.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get Gloria a lab.
Yep. Then we're gonna go talk to Alphonse.
Nope, we're gonna
Nope.
find the former head advisor's
Off like area.
office
Ah,
Yeah, at least the one that's in the
in the
castle.
palace.
Yeah.
Okay.
then we talk to Alphonse.
And then we talk to Alphonse. Or, sorry.
At least the head of the house of
God damn it, you guys ruined me. I was so good. I was saying it right, and now I can only say Alphonse. But yes, we're gonna go talk to the head of that family. And that's actually about it.
All right.
Oh, wait. We also have to pay the wizard that casted the spell for us. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, that can come later, probably.
yeah.
Oh, what, that? Oh, no, that just was one charge on it. Oh, no, you're good.
Oh,
That was actually really easy on my part. Just look through a list of items.
oh,
No, you're good. Okay, you
Oh.
barely asked anything of me.
Oh,
oh, okay. Yeah, I appreciate it. That's one less thing on my plate. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Then so yeah, so that's taken care of now.
yeah.
Yeah. So then yeah, and then we go talk to the Lord and Lady of the
House of Fandalen.
Fandalen. Thank you.
It's up there in the notes if you need it.
I couldn't remember how to say it because someone had said Alphonse, and that it immediately overrode it. I am not great with names. I am struggling. Val could probably riddle these off easily. I am struggling.
Well. But yes. Hopefully that'll be all good. Yep, we hope to see you next time.